So when I was in elementary school, one of my favorite things to do was go to summer camp. And when I was there, I would love to skip rocks. And I would look for hours for that perfect rock to be able to skip across that water. And when I did, what I remember the most is the ripple that every time that it hit the water, it expanded. So I'd like you to take that vision right now within your head and think about the circles of influence that you have for your business. How many do you have? How big are they? Well, I'd like to share with you a way that you can expand your circle of influence and elevate your brand. And you can do this through community engagement. Now, I'm not talking about community engagement in terms of Facebook. It's not that definition. I'm talking about working out to the community where you work and where you live and doing something out there and showing what you have to share. And with that, I'm going to share with you an acronym, because how do you take action and how do you do that? And here's what it is: GIVE. And yes, for those spellers in the room, it does spell give, right? But it's different, and I'm going to invite you to a different perspective on what that means. So the G starts with gift. Gift your experience. Whether all of you in this room have gifts and talents that you can share, there are so many ways that we can give. And your nonprofits and your organization, if that is what speaks to you within your community, they need your experience. Sometimes they need it more than your money, because that is what's going to build the capacity within those organizations in order to sustain. So then we have the I. And I is invest. And yes, you can invest your money. And many of that is what is going to speak to you. But I would encourage you to invest your time. So when we invest our time, that could be you would decide to mentor a youth. You may decide to be out and give some other component out there. But when you invest your time, you have just built up someone else. And you're showcasing what you can do. Because how many of you out there are actually not as comfortable with sales, right? You don't get up for joy for that. Well, when you are out there in your community, you can showcase what you can give people, and you never have to say one pitch, because they're going to see what you can give them. So then we have volunteer. So that may be a gala, that might be a 5K, you may be a reader in a kindergarten classroom, whatever that is going to mean with you. And do that. You can even, if you like planning, if civics is your important thing, you can be on the planning commission in your community to see where your community is going. But I encourage you to take a look and think about volunteerism as one other way, and think of it as professional development. I was part of an impact giving circle of women, and one of the things we had was a committee to determine who would receive the 5- and 6-figure grants. And in that community, we had to figure out and learn all the due diligence. I know many of you aspire to either have a nonprofit you want to, or a foundation with what you want to do. Imagine what you could do if you knew how all the decisions were made. And E is for embrace. Step out of your comfort zone and what you're doing and do something different. Whether it doesn't matter what it means or where you go, just be engaged in your community. So think a minute. What's the ROI if I take my time and my investment and I share that? Well, that's the part that I get so excited about, because it is a two-sided ROI. Yes, when you get out there, you can showcase what you can do, and people will see it, and you will make those connections and ripple that and make it much broader for you and your brand. But what's even more important and more passionate even for me is you have just done it for someone else, and you have done it for an organization, for our communities, and that is truly the definition of win-win.